make sure you register for this masterclass coming up. Today, I want to talk about 3 reasons why Waltz is amazing for you to learn as a ballroom dancer. I also have 3 videos to show you. One, I think one of my very first dance competitions, and then from that to becoming a professional ballroom dancer, and then of course with one of my students as well, just to showcase the differences there. And they're a little cringe. I was like, oh man, I'm going to show this and put myself on the line just to be just to show you it can be done. You can learn to dance. Anyone can learn to dance if you stick with it long enough, all right? So stick with me for the next 15 minutes, and I'm going to show you why Waltz is literally a game changer for you, why this free masterclass series is going to be amazing for you as a beginner dancer, and then some tips and advice that you can use now to get going, all right? So feel free to leave a question as we go through this. I'm going to show this video first, all right? So here we go. Let's do it. This is the first ballroom competition I think I had. It's one of them. It's up there anyway. Let's have a little look here.
Go Vaughan and Alison! Go Vaughan and Alison! Hunter!
Nope. That posture is okay. So much to critique. It's great. It's great. I mean, it's very hard watching yourself dance, isn't it? But look at that. The hunch was real. Okay. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. Your struggles with dancing. All right. The hair. Who the hell let me on the floor with that? Look at that baggy shirt. Right. So it can be done. Now let's have a look at moving forward. I think that was the early 2000s. So then I have a video from 2015 when I think we'd just sort of gotten into professional ballroom dancing. So that whole time we'd been training, right? Moving from doing lessons where I'm from in Australia and Canberra, and then moving to England to train with Anne and Richard Gleave and Michael Stelianos and Lorna Lee in the Latin side of things. That was around 2010, 2012. And then we came back to start a studio here. So I was running a studio called the International Dance Studio. It's still around, still doing that. Fucking awesome. Shout out to anyone watching this from the studio. You guys are amazing. And so the professional ballroom side of things, let's have a little look at a demo there, and then I'll show you one with a student of mine who, so I can demonstrate to you the actual like process of like working in with students, so you can, buy into my credibility that I can definitely help. It's so funny watching that. I cringe so hard. There's so much to improve from that point. And actually, I know I've improved a lot since then. Obviously, that was like 10 years ago. But wow, I look at that and I'm like, damn, there's just so much like missing in that sense, shape, space, that sort of thing, movement. Like I hope you can understand that when you learn to dance, you'll be your own biggest critic, right? So coaches can say things about you and people can say things about you, but fundamentally, unless you've got something mentally wrong with you, you're generally going to be your own worst critic, right? So for me personally, that doesn't look like very good dancing, but I know it had like the good markings there and things coming through. And that's one of the beautiful things about ballroom dancing is you can always get better. And I think one thing I've learned teaching, particularly this next video I'll show you with Maddie, who was a very talented ballroom dancer. So watching how she improved and developed, doing that and teaching is one of those things that if you really love your subject, whatever that is, when you start teaching it, you become better. And I know through teaching, I've become better myself. And especially because you have different students that you have to work through and through their own, trials and tribulations, you have to learn how to help them overcome that. And the teaching side of things for for you as a coach, and for them as a student, it's like a journey, right? A quest, if you will. And so there's no arrival point. This is one of the things you should understand. You just aim to keep getting better. I remember my coach saying that. She goes, I'm dancing better in my 50s than I did. I was like, that's saying a lot because, They won black ball, as professional ballroom dancers. So that's a good lesson for all of us. You can always get better. So even if you feel that you are a stronger dancer, doing something like this masterclass is going to bring a lot of benefit to you because we can always get better, right? The saying in our community is progress over perfection. Okay, so let's have a little look at Maddie and then we'll get into it. Okay, well, I guess the main thing with understanding why the waltz, all right? So the waltz is a classic dance. It's the one most people get introduced to first, but why? Well, there's a couple of main reasons, and let me ask you, what do you think? What's one of the reasons if you've danced the waltz before, or if you're a teacher, or if you're an aficionado of ballroom dancing? Why is waltz such a good dance for people to start with, right? Well, first of all, it's easy timing. If you can count to 3, you're well on your way, all right? So the next thing, and this is probably the most important thing, is it creates a fantastic foundation. So great feet, posture, and frame. So the posture is how you hold your body. It's not just you standing up, right? It's the relationship, I suppose, with your pelvis to your shoulders, how that is aligned. And then, of course, that's integral for good balance, right? It's in conjunction with using your feet correctly. And then the frame. So the frame is how the actual the hold, so the hands, and then of course the positions of the arm, and then the distance between the head of the man and lady. But the thing is, it gives all the structure and foundation for that. So the waltz is something that in my studio when I'm teaching, so for the last 12 years, I've run group classes virtually every single week, working with starter level dancers. It's what I call the class. These are people that come in like the two, like the baby giraffe learning to walk, right? So you got 2 left feet, and you're feeling like Bambi. You're Bambi all over this place. Yeah, that's normal, right? So the foundation, though, within that is the good feet, the posture, and the hold. And so because of that, it opens the gateway to the other dances, such as the foxtrot, the Viennese waltz, and the quickstep, so the foxtrot and the quickstep we refer to as the swing dances, and waltz being the third swing dance. And then there's the Viennese waltz, which is like a faster version, I suppose, of the waltz, but it's very different and has different steps. The tango is its own separate dance, but the foundation that you get from the hold, the frame, etc., allows you and opens up a world of possibilities, right, with the other dancers, especially as things get a little faster with the tempos, like in the quickstep, or the movement gets more challenging, like in the foxtrot. All right. So, and now the foxtrot to me is one of the ultimate dances. By the way, I will be doing a masterclass on each of these dances. So if you're on the email list, I'll be notifying you of when these come up. But we're going to start with the waltz first because why? It's the foundation dance, okay? So we'll refer back to things. So you're going to learn how to use the feet properly, how to use your legs properly, what things to avoid, and what to really focus on. Because through working with literally thousands of students, teaching the waltz to them, there are definitely things to do and not to do. So you walk in like the baby giraffe and you waltz on out. Yeah, like that. Look at that pun, right? Hey, Jake, what's up? Thanks for coming on in. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, come and do it, right? Remember, it's free. It's on my YouTube channel. Subscribe there, get the notifications, but more importantly, get on my email list. That way, if I take it off YouTube and put it somewhere else, I'll let you know where it goes. The other thing is, too, it's simple and it's elegant. So it is a beautiful dance. I mean, look, you may not be dancing it so nice right now. That's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm here for, right? I'm going to help you with that. And it is a bit of a struggle, right? It's at the beginning part of it, learning all of the things to do with the waltz, the amounts of turn, the alignment, how to rise and fall through your feet, how to close correctly with balance. That cannot be overstated. Is the challenge, but that's why it's a fantastic foundation dance. But most importantly, it looks awesome, right? It looks really, really nice. It looks elegant and beautiful when you see 2 people dancing that together. So the struggle is real, my friends. It's so real, okay? Like, do you suffer? I feel like one of those like terrible infomercials, but like posture issues, okay? Holy Quasimodo, right? So in the city I work in, there is a huge public service sector here. So everyone can relate to them when I say you'll look like you're a bunch of public servants right now because they're standing like this. Yeah. Where am I? You're walking on in, shoulders hunched. I blame the sedentary lifestyle. I blame the keyboard. All right. It's not healthy. In fact, you want a long life, you need to have mobility, right? It's really, really important. Part of good mobility and good human movement, down the bottom there, movement and control, is having correct posture. Now, dancing is amazing, and not only for the brain because of the music, but the way that our body is used kinesthetically, like completely in time and space. It's 3D. You're using your whole body, using your whole being, if you will. And because of that, it is something that not only will make your life, ultimately better, but you will start to work on being aware of your posture, right? So this is something people are not actually aware of. They don't consciously walk around thinking about how are they standing up? Is there, are they, what is it here? This little cheekbone part. Is that sort of lined up with your shoulder? Is it lined up with your hip? People don't walk around like that. But as a dancer, you train that and you start to become very aware of it. You become body aware. And being body aware is fantastic because you start to notice how much you start to take more control of yourself, right? In a positive way. You start to be more aware of your body. You start to look after your health as a consequence, right? All these things are really, really powerful. Now, balance is also very, very important. Oh, yeah. Hi, dogs and blogs. All right. What's up there? Yeah. So thank you for asking me that question. So I'll put a link. There should be a link actually in the window, but if you go to ballroommastery.tv, okay, you should be redirected to the URL, but it's ballroommastery.tv/masterclass hyphen or dash series. Okay. So I'll just whack this in the window just so we all are clear. .tv. Okay. There we go. So, but balance is also one of those things, especially notice this with people as they get older. Okay. Now, by the way, I've got members in my online community. So, this isn't like the YouTube channel is amazing. It's wonderful people on there. I get to meet them at the competitions and things like that. Then I have a members area online as well where people learn with me each month. And some of these people have been with me now for 5 years, which is amazing. Right. So, shout out to you guys if you're watching. And some of those members of the community are in their 70s, right? And they'll send me videos. Like Dave is one of them, and he's 71, I believe, or 72. And the way he's moving and dancing is fantastic. Now, he wasn't born a dancer. He didn't start when he was a teenager. And you look at it and think, that is a really good thing to do for your body, right? It's a great thing. Now, the earlier you start, and this is really important for you young dancers out there, listen to this. The earlier you start, the better it is for your body overall, right? It's like working out. It's way better to start working out as a teenager with weights properly and continue that habit. Even if you stop in your 30s for a little bit, and then later in life, it's like your body remembers that, right? Now, dancing's the same. The balance side of things is incredibly important just as part of the posture principle to be able to have a life where you feel free, man, where you can go through things, right? So you can be active. You can be keeping up with people. You don't have to get old. Listen. You do not have to become a typical old codger, right? You don't have to be walking around with your fucking Quasimodo posture and your balance tripping everywhere like, oh, I slipped on lint. What? Well, no, because dancing will teach this for you, right? And so it's not just about learning to dance, right? It's about the transformation, people. It's the transformation, right? And speaking of the transformation, oh, perfect segue. Look at that. I love this. I just bang this together now. This is fun. Are you having fun? I'm liking this. This is great. So Waltz will transform you, my friend. It will. All right. How? Building confidence. Now, ironically, you may not have the confidence straight away, right? So getting into a studio, I remember, I don't know if you guys, gentlemen, can relate to this, but when I first learned to dance, I was very nervous going into the studio. My back would be up against the wall. I'd like peek around the corner, this vast void, empty space. I'm like, oh God, I can't go in there. And being a man, like there's less men, less of us to get together and like share the pain together, right? There's like 2 dudes there and like 30 girls. I was like, this is a great idea. Better than doing rugby, I suppose, now. But still terrifying, right? But the confidence of going in, then pushing yourself to say, do medals or do competition, my Lord, does that literally change the game in your life because it cross-pollinates, right? Once that happens, well, as a consequence of you building your body a certain way, you start to have that go into other areas of your life, you know? And so it's actually quite a beautiful, interpersonal relationship like that. But ironically, the confidence that you seek, you may not necessarily have, but getting into the studio is an act of confidence in and of itself, right? And so is registering for the masterclass. So, it's those little things though that add up, okay? Because confidence is a skill. It's something you can learn. It's something you can actually develop, and you do that through challenging your comfort zone, right? Doing things you haven't done before. And one of the common complaints I get is, or not complaints, this used to be a complaint. It's really far less now. Was, oh no, it's online. I prefer in person. It's like, no, that's fine. That's just your conditioning, isn't it? That's just your own lens of the world, not adapting. And you have to learn to adapt. Like dancing, you need to learn to adapt. You need floor craft. You need to be able to move around people, which you can only do, by the way, with absolute control of your balance. And then all of a sudden, no one can touch you on the floor. You can dance wherever you need, so long as you understand your basics and all of your fundamentals, right? So, that's things that come further down the line in a masterclass series I may do down the track, which would be more of the actual advanced things. Technically, masterclasses are for people that already have a grip on all the foundations, and they actually have all of the basic movements and things like that within them. So we all start with a foundation, if you will, and then there's nuances that are taught. But I figured we'll do a beginner series masterclass, which is a little bit deeper than just steps. All right. Now, improving your balance and control, I make a big deal of this because, like I said, it will cross pollinate. But for example, if you want to go learn surfing, all right, well, because you've danced, you'll notice that you have more awareness of your center. And I snowboard, right, and I surf as well. It's the same thing. I still can ride just as well as I used to when I was racing back in my teenage years. And I had a huge break, like 15 years I didn't do it because I didn't want to injure myself, because I was also a bit not too risk averse, let's just put it that way. So, but I always found that the ability to have this insane control over my center line. So your center, essentially, for those who don't know what that is, you've got a vertical, imagine a vertical line running through your body, okay? And then that is an axis, right? So we can turn around it, we can sway around it, all right? And we walk forward and backwards. So in the middle, direct middle of your body is an actual center, say around your belly button. And knowing, first of all, having a strong core and being able to use that correctly, for say, let's say you wanted to go and do yoga, right? Because you're now aware of your body from dancing and you've used yourself dynamically through movement in the waltz, you can start to have static balance where you can go on one foot and you can correct as you wobble, right? These things are very, very important. And I don't think people understand how profound having good balance actually is to the quality of your life, because when you don't have it, you notice, like if you're a little drunk and you're like, oh my God, I used to be able to walk. What happened? Okay. Don't drink, people. Much. But anyway, now social and competition value, absolutely. So how nice would it be to be able to go out and just like have a waltz with someone, and just off you go. Especially you gentlemen, it's a lost art, my friend. It's a lost art, but you'll be in high demand. Okay, at the wedding, right? People will admire your dancing. In fact, I had a student last week who said they were doing just the start of group classes, and then they're doing their wedding lessons at the moment. And they went up to a wedding a month ago to a friend's. And all night they were dancing on the floor. They're getting people up. They were like, wow, I could not believe the confidence that I had. I was so stoked hearing this story, by the way, because people don't often share these type of stories. And they said they brought the vibe, right? Because people were coming up to them saying, my God, it's so refreshing and great to see you two just dancing so well. And I asked them, like, what was it for you that allowed that? They said, well, we knew some of the basic steps, from, say, the slow rhythm, some waltz and some cha-cha. And because of that, like we were using our arms, to help lead different things. We're just doing random steps too. I was like, yeah, that's brilliant, because when you have a foundation and you understand movement, so how to put one foot in front of the other in a rhythmical way, or how to use your upper body or your arms in a way that relates to, the way your feet are moving, so you can create a nice lead and follow pattern. It's amazing. And because they'd come to classes, they had the confidence to do it. Because of that, it inspired a bunch of people. And in fact, the whole wedding, they told me, was like lifted up, because it wasn't just them. It was the fact that, and by the way, these two people they're so cool. They're so unassuming in a sense, because they're not show ponies, right? You might have in your head, oh, these are like really overconfident people. Not at all. And that's what was so cool about this, because they had that inner confidence to go and try. And because of that feeling, what happened as a result, which is so cool, people came up to them and said, I want to now go and do dance classes, right? And I was like, that's dope, right? How cool is that? You don't even know the impact that you can have on someone else. And I think one of the women were like grabbing their boyfriend and be like, we're going to dance classes now. So yeah, you understand. Like, so there's a lot of value in these sorts of things that go just well beyond that. So look, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but it's really important you get out of your own way. All right. So you're more than likely already doing some classes or private lessons at the moment, but challenge yourself to do something different, right? To try something new and to keep pushing, because just because you don't have that feeling now of being, confident in what you want to do does not give you a reason not to do it. That's not, in my mind and with my students, I say that's not a good enough reason to not do the thing just because of insecurity, right? What are you teaching yourself if you back down every time a challenge comes up? You're teaching yourself it's okay to quit, right? It's okay to just do it because it's you don't want to be uncomfortable. It's like, okay, that makes sense if you're talking about taking heroin, right? Okay, back down there, get out of that circle, right? Fair enough. There's certain cases that's a great survival technique, but not when it comes to actual positive things that are going to challenge you and grow you in the correct way, right? So, okay, that's been. If there's any questions for me, please put them in the window. I would like to wholeheartedly invite you to register for free. All right, get on there, tell your friends about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna be doing these in a studio. I aim to do them live on a Tuesday at around 10 a.m. And then, of course, there'll be replays will be up for everyone there. We'll do 4 weeks, and then we'll swap dancers. All right, and then let's just track the progress. I would like to have some additional bonuses and things that I'll talk about a bit later as part of it, but I'll email that out because I'm still trying to work it out, and I don't want to promise something I can't actually deliver. So, with that in mind, I really look forward to seeing all of you all. All right, thank you. Great to have you here. I'll catch you later. See you in the dance scene.